Good morning, all of you. Now let us transform the following sentences as shown in the examples above. He went to the bazaar to buy vegetables. Now this sentence shows purpose. For purpose, which are the other things that we can use in a simple sentence instead of to, in order to, for, or with a view to. First, let us transform this sentence into other simple sentences. He went to the bazaar to buy vegetables, in order to buy vegetables, for buying vegetables, and with a view to buying vegetables. Now, these four sentences are simple sentences. Now, let us change it into a complex sentence. To make it a complex sentence, we have to use so that, in order that. So, instead of to. So, he went to the bazaar so that, in order that. So that, or in order that. Now, after that, the sentence structure is subject plus modal auxiliary plus root form of verb. So, here the subject is he. So, he went to the bazaar so that he, modal auxiliary, could, and buy is the root form of the verb. So, the answer would be he went to the bazaar so that, in order that, he could buy vegetables. That is a complex sentence. Now, to make it a simple compound sentence, we'll have to use want or wanted to. So, he wanted to buy vegetables, and coordinate conjunction and so and therefore. So, he went to the bazaar to buy vegetables. When we use wanted to, we will have to write it as he wanted to buy vegetables, and so he went to the bazaar. That is a compound sentence. Now, next sentence is, in spite of my strict warning, he went in that area. Now, here, in spite of shows contrast. Which are the other phrase prepositions that show contrast in a simple sentence? Despite. So, in spite of or despite my strict warning, he went in that area. These two sentences are simple sentences. To make it a complex sentence, we will have to use a subordinate conjunction, that is though, although, even though, even if, however, as. These are the subordinate conjunctions which can be used to make it a complex sentence. Now, in the given sentence, say, in spite of my strict warning, he went in that area. Went is the only verb. To make it a complex sentence, we require at least two verbs. So, in spite of my strict warning, to change that into a sentence with a second verb and a complex sentence, what we will have to do is that instead of in spite of, we write, say, though. Then my is a possessive pronoun. Instead of possessive pronoun, we have to write subjective pronoun I. So, though I. Then strict warning. Now, strict warning, strict is an adjective and warning is a noun. Strict is an adjective and warning is noun. So, here from the noun and the from adjective plus noun that is given, we will have to change it to a verb and adverb to make it a verb. So, here you will have to write though I, then from strict warning, what shall we make a verb? Warning will become a verb. So, though I warned, strict. Strict we cannot write because we have to make it an adverb. Strict is an adjective with a verb. We will have to. So, though I warned strictly, he went in that area. However, when we use, the sentence structure changes again. However is followed by adjective or adverb. So, however strictly I warned, he went in that area. If we use as to make it a complex sentence, strictly as I warned, he went in that area. Now, these three are complex sentences. To make it a compound sentence, we will have to use but, yet, and still. These are the coordinate conjunctions showing contrast. So, I warned strictly, but yet still he went in that area is a compound sentence. Then he won because he played well. Now, because is used and there are two verbs in this sentence, won and because. Won and played. When two verbs are given and a subordinate conjunction because is given, it is a complex sentence. To make it a simple sentence, we can use equivalent phrase prepositions which show reason. They are because of, on account of, owing to, and due to. Now, let us use that and make it a simple sentence. He won. Instead of because, we have to write because of, on account of, owing to. Now, here you have to be very careful to make it a simple sentence. The second verb that is given, that is played. Played is the second verb. One verb we have already written. To make it a simple sentence, we cannot write a second verb. So played, which is a verb, we'll have to change it to a non-verb. So to change it to a non-verb, the first thing that you will have to do is the subject he that is given over there, that you have to change it into a possessive pronoun. So he won because of, he will become his, and when verb is given, you have to change it into a present participle, that is ing form of the verb. So he won because of his playing well. Instead of that, you can also write he won because of his playing well, on account of his playing well, and owing to his playing well. Any of these can be, phrase prepositions can be used to make a simple sentence. When we use due to, you have to be very careful, because the rule for using due to is always used in the middle of the sentence. So there again, instead of because, you can use due to. But the other rule is that due to is always preceded by a to be verb. So here one is the verb that is given, he won. That one you cannot write as a verb, because you have to make a simple sentence in due to, with due to, and there should not be any other verb other than the to be verb that you are supposed to use before due to. So here you will have to make the changes that you made after because. So here again, he will become his, one will become winning, as he played became his playing. In that way, he won will become his winning. And then you have to put the to be verb. His winning was due to his playing well. That would be the answer when you use, make it a simple sentence using due to. Be very careful while using due to. Due to is always used in the middle of the sentence, one thing, and it is always preceded by a to be verb. There will not be any other verb in a sentence with due to other than the to be verb. So if two verbs are given, suppose say he played well, played is the verb given. To make it a non-verb, we simply did possessive pronoun plus ing form. The same thing you will have to do in the first part of the sentence also. So his winning and his playing, that is what you will have to use to make it a sentence with due to. So his winning was due to his playing well. She got scared in spite of severe training. Now, say in spite of is used to show contrast over here. You can use despite in place of in spite of. So she got scared despite severe training. Then say if we use say though, although, even though, even if, however, as, then it will become a complex sentence. To make it a complex sentence, we'll have to use the subordinate conjunction though, although, even though, even if, however, and as. Though, although, even though, even if have the same sentence structure. So, though, now here again, after in spite of what is given, severe training. Severe is an adjective, training is a noun. To make it a complex sentence, you will have to change any one of these into a verb and the other into an adverb. So though, then subject you will have to write she. Now did she or she trained means you will have to use a passive verb over here, because she did not do the job of training, and we have to make training as a verb. So though she was trained, as the sentence is in past tense, got is given, so you will have to change into a past tense. In the passive of simple past tense is was, were plus past participle. So though she was trained severely, because when you write was trained, that is a verb, then you cannot write severe as an adjective, you will have to change it to an adverb. So though she was trained severely, she got scared. That is with though. However, again the sentence structure will say change. However is followed by adverb, however, severely, then subject she, and verb was trained, she got scared. As if we use, then you have to write the adjective adverb first. So severely, as, then she subject was trained verb, and the other part remains as that she got scared. Now that's about say complex sentences. To make it a compound sentence, it's very simple. You have to use but, yet, and, or still. So she was trained severely, but yet still she got scared. He studied in Polytechnic with a view to getting into the London School of Economics. Now here first you will have to find out that what does this sentence show? It shows the purpose that he studied in the Polytechnic. What was the purpose? Getting into the London School of Economics. Now here the rules that are given above are say with a view to or for is followed by ing. So that one sentence is already given. To make it other simple sentence that you can write from this is he studied in the Polytechnic to or in order to get into. Instead of getting you will have to write get, because to or in order to are followed by root form of the verb, and for or with a view to are followed by ing form of the verb. So he studied in the Polytechnic to get into the London School of Economics, or in order to get into the London School of Economics. To make it a complex sentence, you'll have to use so that or in order that. So he studied in the Polytechnic to write so that or in order that. Then so that or in order that is followed by subject plus modal auxiliary plus root form. So he studied in the Polytechnic so that, then subject he, modal auxiliary could, and root form of the verb is get, and the remaining part remains as it is. So he studied in the Polytechnic so that in order that he could study in the he could get into the London School of Economics. That is a sentence. To make it a compound sentence, we'll have to use want or wanted to, and so and therefore. So he wanted to get into the London School of Economics, and so he studied in the Polytechnics. He wanted to get into the London School of Economics, and so he studied in Polytechnic. He made no further attempts owing to repeated failure. Now here owing to shows reason. After, and the sentence with owing to is a simple sentence. You will have to change this into a complex sentence and compound sentence. But you will also have to use say due to, and the sentence structure with due to is different. Let us first change it into a sentence with due to and a simple sentence. So here instead of, as the rule goes, say owing to can be used anywhere, but due to is always used in the middle of the sentence. Here owing to is given in the middle of the sentence, so there we don't need to change the place of owing to. Instead of owing to we have to write due to. So, and after owing to, repeated failure is given in that there is no noun, no verb. So that part we don't need to change when we use due to. So he made no further attempts due to repeated failure. That's what you would write. But the rule says that due to is always preceded by a to be verb, and that to be verb should be the only verb in that sentence. And how do we? So here we already have one verb made. Now that made we will have to change into a non-verb. How do we change a verb into a non-verb? Say he, that is a subjective pronoun, we'll have to change it into a possessive pronoun. So his made is a verb given over here. To make it a non-verb, we will have to write the ing form of the verb. So his making no further attempts. Then we put that to be verb that is required before due to. So his making no further attempts was due to repeated failure. That would be the sentence with due to. Now to make a complex sentence, we'll have to use because, since, and as. So instead of owing to we have to write because. So he made no further attempts because. That's fine. Now from repeated failure you will have to make any of these. Now repeated failure is adjective plus noun. You will have to write verb and adverb to make it a complex sentence, because we require a second verb to make it a complex sentence, and subordinate conjunction because. So he made no further attempts because he, that is subject. Now repeated failure, then we always change a noun into a verb and an adjective into an adverb. So because he failed, and to make adverb we generally add ly. So he failed repeatedly. So the answer would be he made no further attempts because he failed repeatedly. Now this sentence with because is a complex sentence, but we can also use since or as to make it a complex sentence. Since or as he failed repeatedly, because since or as are always used in the beginning of the sentence to emphasize the reason. So since or as he failed repeatedly, he made no further attempts. That is the other complex sentence that we can write. To make it a compound sentence, we have to use and so and therefore. He made he failed repeatedly and therefore or and so he made no further attempts. Now the remaining sentences are of the same type. You try to solve the other sentences as discussed here, and I am sure you will be able to solve the remaining sentences. Thank you.